Hey homeschool family, I have had the amazing pleasure of meeting with 3 homeschool women from our local homeschool community. I have done an interview with them and have over an hour's worth of interview, conversation, and material to work from. I did not put all that information into this one video, so be on the lookout for a part 2, part 3, maybe even a part 4. But these women are so amazing. I hope that you can get something from the video, even if it's just to laugh or just to relate. Maybe your ears will perk up at something that really connects with you and will just help you get through the day. And just so you know, you are not the only one. So I hope that this video will bless you, and be on the lookout for the subsequent ones to come.
My name is Felicia Hale, and I have 5 kids. I homeschooled from preschool all the way through with all of them, and actually from the beginning on. So I homeschooled for 22 years.
My name is Ann Barrows. I have 6 children, and I've homeschooled for 25 years.
My name is Boomy Morgan, and I am the mom of 2 lovely girls, ages 18 and 15. We have been homeschooling from the beginning, which of course means that I've been homeschooling for about 14 years. My 18-year-old just graduated, and my 15-year-old is going into 10th grade.
I think learning styles is a really huge thing, and my kids are very different. My oldest is dark-haired, dark-eyed, dark-skinned. My youngest second is blonde, blue-eyed, and as fair as they come. And their personalities and their learning styles were as different as their looks. So early on, I had to figure out, what kind of learner were they? An auditory learner, a visual learner, kinesthetic learner, and pull that into play and study those things. Blessing and a curse, I had a background as an elementary school teacher, so I had some familiarity with that, but yet homeschooling is completely different than classroom teaching. So I did pay attention to learning styles early on, and it made a big difference because I had all of them in different kids and had to find ways to make it work. My youngest was a mechanical thinker, very linear in his thinking, and kinesthetic times 10. And from the beginning, we were skip counting, jumping up the stairs, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Always finding motion or fidget things just to make things work. So with each of the kids, I had to study the kids to find out how they thought, how their brain worked. And then I had to study to find things that would be applicable to what they were learning and try to make it work.
Besides the kids, I think it's just the solidarity you have at home, where it's just you and your kids for most of the day. And just working on patience as a parent of, we're in this for a marathon, this isn't a sprint. And we don't get to just tag team that they go to school for a couple hours and someone else deals with them and then sends them back at the end of the day.
You too can homeschool if you are a type B, because I am totally a type B. I love to make schedules, but they weren't always followed. It's fun just making the schedule. I think I'm just so not a routine person. I always have good intentions of having a routine. There were times when the kids were younger, one of the favorite things I like to do with them with homeschooling is sitting on the couch and doing read-alouds together. I still even like that, even now that I still have a teenager, just reading together. But we're not very routine-y, so to speak. I just created a new word, I guess.
I am not a morning person at all. So we started school at 9 o'clock. And the flip side of that is I'm a late night person. So after the kids would go to bed, I would stay up and do school planning, do my devotions, have some quiet time with no chaos in the house. And the flip side of that is that we didn't start school till 9 o'clock because that's when I functioned best, and I needed to be functioning and not the children. And my children will tell you, yeah, we knew not to talk to Mom before 8 o'clock. It wasn't a good idea.
I think starting the day with a routine, and I always tried to get up before my kids did. I think that half an hour of whatever your wake up process is, drinking a cup of coffee, having some quiet time in the Word, but just getting up to get your day started before their day starts, as opposed to us all kind of frenzying at the same time. It helps me to get their day started because I'm already up and moving.
But the routine that we did, we always met at the dining room table at 9 o'clock. And as the kids got older, they made their own breakfast, and they were in charge of that before we started school. And they had to come to the table at 9 o'clock, ready to start their day. We would start with devotions. When they were younger, it was reading a story Bible and talking about it. As they got older, there might have been devotional books, either related to Awanas or youth group or things like that. But there was some devotion that we did together as a family. And then we would kind of talk through, okay, today we've got co-op, so we're going to be da-da-da-da. Or we've got soccer this afternoon, so by 2:30 you need to be ready with your soccer gear, ready to go. Or, so-and-so is doing this, or just whatever is going on with school, who's going to be sometimes in what room, or who's going to be using the computer first, or all of those things. Just the routine of the day, which at my house was never the same. So just we started on a good note all together, with everyone knowing what was the expectation for the day. And the other thing that we did, whether it was be schoolwork, other thing, is my rule is always everybody participates. I'm not here to be your only teacher, you're participating. My kids helped each other. There were things that if someone was strong in math, they might run math facts with a younger kid. When I had babies, even my 6 and 7 year olds, 5, 6 year olds had baby time when I was doing other things with kids. So everyone participates, whether it was helping with school, with chores. We always had animals in our house. We still have too many animals in our house. Making a meal and taking it to maybe a friend that was having a baby. One of the kids would make the salad, one of the kids would make the brownies. Everybody participated, and that was kind of our rule of thumb. And things like homeschool soccer, we always did that rather than each person doing a different sport, because I wanted them to participate together, and it also simplified my life.
In 2008, when the recession hit, my husband lost his job, and he was out of work for 4 years and 2 months. And through that time, not homeschooling was not a question. There just was not. I think we were so firm in the fact that we know every family makes their own choices, but we were firm in the idea that public school was not an option for us. So it's a matter of working around the situation. We had to give up a nice home that we owned. We short sailed it. I took on I had always sort of worked part-time through the homeschooling journey. So I took on more part-time work, and he took on what he could find. We ended up also living with a family who was just wonderful and gracious to us and let us live on their farm. The Lord really showed up for us in that different people that we didn't even expect were able to help us in different ways. I remember when we had several friends in our home helping us to pack up this beautiful 5-bedroom home that we owned. And I remember a girlfriend being in my bedroom as we needed to pack really quickly for the short sale that was occurring. I remember standing there saying, wow, we're homeschooling. If we were not homeschooling, we would have kept the house. Or if I had gone back to my old full-time job, we would have kept the house. So standing in that room that day, it was like, wow, we are homeschooling. And so the house has got to go. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, it's a sacrifice.
Yes. You find out that even during that season, it's not quote unquote the end of the world. And if they missed out on something, they caught it later. Mm-hmm. So it seems like a short story. There was also illness, surgeries that occurred during this time period, but the Lord was faithful.
Well, we were a military family, so we moved every 2 to 3 years for the first 10 or 12 years of our homeschooling journey. So, I mean, with every move, there's a new circumstance. I had to find what the state rules. I'd have to contact the Board of Education and say, what are the requirements for homeschooling? And each state has their own. So there's different forms and different things you have to turn in, different paperwork, different people to report to, and that was a challenge. And in many ways, homeschooling was a blessing because the kids were home, and if we needed to travel to grandparents for a week or two or to Whatever needed to be done, we could do that. We had the flexibility to stop school or to take school with us. And the consistency of homeschooling was an amazing blessing to my kids. Even now, when they come back home, they love spending time together. There's nothing more rewarding as a mom when 2 or 3 of them squirrel away up in a bedroom, or they stay up way past everybody else just so they can catch up on what life's doing. And I really believe that homeschooling my kids together, no matter where we moved or what we were doing, they have a bond for life, and that is more precious to me than anything else.